In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to subtract mixed fractions with unlike denominators, and we're looking at instances where we have to reduce the whole number. Now, how are we going to go about this? We're going to look at the steps. We're going to examine the steps that we have to follow to perform this subtraction operation, and then we're actually going to walk through some examples together so that you can see how to apply the steps. So the first thing we're going to do when we're dealing with this type of subtraction is to subtract the whole numbers. We'll look at the one on the left minus the one on the right. Then we'll find the least common multiple of the denominators, very important. And then we're going to rewrite each of the fraction with the new denominators so that we have the fractions rewritten so that they both share the same denominator. And then we're going to subtract the new numerators, which is going to be fraction on the left minus fraction on the right. And you're going to notice in this instance is that the numerator on the left is going to be smaller than the numerator on the right. So we're going to have to subtract 1 from the result of the subtraction of the whole numbers. And the one that we subtract, we're going to rewrite it as a fraction where the numerator and the denominator are the same. And then we're going to add that numerator to the fraction on the left, and then we now have a larger numerator on the left, and then we can subtract the one on the right from it. And then we're going to express the new fraction in simplified terms. And then remember never to subtract the denominator, and you will simplify the fraction that you get. So let's look at how to apply this. I know there's a lot of steps, but once we use them to solve some examples together, I think it will become a lot more simplified. So let's go ahead and start. So what is the value of 5 1 over 6 minus 1 3 over 4? So we said earlier that the first step is to subtract the whole number. So 5 minus 1 is going to give us 4. Now we have a problem here because we have 6 and 4. We need to have a common denominator. So let's go ahead and get the LCM. So we have 4 is 2 squared. 6 is 2 times 3. So the LCM is going to be 2 squared multiplied by 3, which is 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. Now, the next step here is to go ahead and rewrite each of these fractions, the fractional part, as a new fraction with a denominator of 12. So let's start with 1 over 6. We want to write it so that it's a denominator of 12. So we're going to multiply 6 by 2. We multiply 1 by 2. So we now have 2 over 12. Now let's look at 3 over 4. We need to write this as a fraction with a denominator of 12. So we have 4 times 3. We also have 3 times 3. So this is going to give us 9 over 12. Now we have a situation where the fractions are going to be 4, and then we have 2 over 12 minus 9 over 12. So now what we're saying here is we're going to subtract 1 from 4 until we cross 1 out here, and it's going to be 3. So what happens with that 3, with that 1 that we take, we now have 3 here. That 1 that we get becomes 12 over 12 plus 2 over 12 minus 9 over 12. So now what we're going to do here is we have all the denominators the same. So let's work with the numerators. I'm going to use the same denominator. We have 12 plus 2 minus 9, which is going to give us 3. 12 plus 2 is 14 minus 9, and we have 12 as the denominator. That's going to give us 3 whole number. Then we have 5 over 12. So that is how you solve this. Let's try the next one. What is the value of 6 4 over 7 minus 1 2 over 3? First step, 6 minus 1 is going to give us 5. Now we need to find the LCM of 7 and 3. So let's go 3, 7. This is 3 to the power of 1, 7 to the power of 1. So our LCM is going to be 3 times 7, which is equal to 21. The next step is to rewrite each of these fractions, 4 over 7 and 2 over 3, so that they share the same least common denominator. So we have 4 over 7. We need to change it so it has a denominator of 21. You multiply by 3. So you also multiply 4 by 3. It's going to give you 12 over 21. Now 2 over 3. We have to also write it so that it has a new denominator. So we have 3 times 7, 2 times 7. This is going to give us 14 over 21. So now we have 12 over 21 minus 14 over 21. Now what you can see here is that the numerator on the left is smaller than the numerator on the right, so we're going to have to borrow 1 here, and that's going to be 4. The one that we borrow is going to look like this. It's going to be 4, and then we have 21 over 21 plus 12 over 21 minus 14 over 21. So now we have a common denominator, so now let's deal with the numerators. We have 21 plus 12 minus 14. So 21 plus 12, we have 3, 3. So we have 4, 33 minus 14 over 21. So let's go ahead, 33 minus 14. So we're going to borrow 1 here. So we have 13 minus 4 is 9. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we're left with 4, 19 over 21. Another example, what is the value of 7, 4 over 9 minus 2, 5 over 8? First step, 7 minus 2 is going to give us 5. And now we have 9 and 8 as our denominators. So let's go ahead and find the LCM. 8 is 2 to the power of 3. 9 is 2 squared. Actually, that's not right. 9 is 3 squared. So our LCM is going to be 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 3 to the power of 2, which is 8 multiplied by 9. That's going to give you 72. So now, what we have to do is we have to rewrite each of these fractions so that they have a denominator of 72. So 4 over 9, we're going to multiply 9 by 8. So we also have to multiply 4 by 8. It's going to give us 32 over 72. 5 over 8, we're going to multiply 8 by 9. And then we multiply 5 by 9. That's going to give us 45 over 72. So now, here's what we have. We have 32 over 72 minus 45 over 72. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 1 from 5. We're going to borrow 1. So that's going to be left with 4. And then here, so we have the numerator on the left is smaller than the numerator on the right. So what we're going to do here is the one that we borrow ends up becoming 72 over 72. We add 32 over 72, and then we subtract 45 over 72. So now 72 plus 32, we have 4 here, 7 plus 3, 10. So now we have 4. Let's go ahead and follow the steps. 72 plus 32 minus 45 over 72. So we're left with 4. 104 minus 45 over 72. So let's subtract 45 here. we have 9 left over here. And then we have 14, 14 minus 5, 9, 9 minus 4 is 5. So we're left with 4, and then 59 over 72 as the solution to this problem. Our final example, what is the value of 13, 7 over 15 minus 6, 7 over 9? First step, 13 minus 6, that's going to give us 7. The next step of that is, we have 15 and 9, so we're going to come up with the LCM. We have 9, we have 15. 9 is going to give us 3 squared. 15 is going to give us 3 multiplied by 5. So our LCM, in this case, is going to be 3 squared multiplied by 5, which is 9 multiplied by 5 is going to give us 45. So the next step is to rewrite each of these fractions so that they share the same least common denominator. So we have 7 over 15. We need to make it 45, so we multiply 15 by 3 and multiply 7 by 3. This is 21 over 45. 7 over 9, we multiply 9 by 5. We multiply 7 by 5. We now have 35 over 45. So now we're going to rewrite our fraction. It's going to give us 21 over 45 minus 35 over 45. You can see here that the numerator on the left is smaller than the numerator on the right. So we're going to borrow 1 from here. So 6. And then what we're left with is, so we have 6 right here. And the one we borrow becomes 45 over 45. And then we're going to add 21 over 45 and then subtract 35 over 45. So now we have 6. Now let's go ahead and express it. 45 plus 21 minus 35 over 45. So now we have 45 plus 21 is 66 minus 35 over 45. 66 minus 35 is going to give us 31 over 45. So that is our answer.